I don't know about you out there, but I am frustrated about how General Motors has designed their headlights and how they instruct people on how to replace them by pulling out the fender well, pulling out the grille, pulling out the headlight. And all you need to do, if you need to just get to the high beam or the low beam, all you need to do is either on the left-hand side of the vehicle from the front, you remove the air handler box and the filter, and it's literally a 3 or 4 minute process to remove it. And then you can get into this panel. There's a little panel behind here, and I'll show you about that. And it's real simple. Now on the driver's side, a little bit different. You actually can snake yourself around. I don't know if you can see this, but if you take your hand here, you can actually snake around and you can actually get to the headlight and just remove it. You don't need to take anything out. You can take the water bottle out if you think you need more space, but as long as you take down the rubber flap that's in place right here, there's a little rubber flap, you can reach your hand in and get to the low beam or the high beam. So I'll go ahead and replace the low beam on the left-hand side, the passenger side of the vehicle today, and I'll show you how that's done. I have a 2010 Chevy Suburban 75th anniversary Diamond Edition. I'm going to replace the low beam headlight. Don't listen to all these tutorials telling you have to take the whole headlight out and remove the wheel well and yada yada yada. If you're just going to replace the low beam or the high beam, simply remove the equipment that's behind the low or the high beam on the right or the left, and you're good to go. You try to remove the headlight, it has effect of damaging the grille or damaging the side of the fender. It's a real tricky operation, and I'm not sure why they have that listed on how you're going to need a star tool to go ahead and to remove your air handler box. So what you need to do is make sure you've got one that fits correctly, and this fits correctly. You just kind of try to trial and error if you can tell the size. Don't want to use a small one because it'll strip it out. But I mean, this air handler box is used to being removed because you have to remove it when you change your oil and they change the filter. So they remove all 4 of those screws. So it's a really simple operation, but just make sure you have the right tool. Don't use an Allen wrench. Don't use a screwdriver. Use the correct tool. It's a hex head tool bit, and you'll be good to go. I've already done the liberty of taking the air filter out, and I just kind of pull away the cover and just kind of set it up out of the way. And then what you want to do is there's these rubber mounts that are, I don't know if you can see it or not, but underneath this box there's a couple of rubber mounts, and they're really easy to get out. All you have to do is simply pull up on the box and it comes up out, and you're not going to break anything. Just be careful so you can see the tab on the bottom there, and you can see a tab on the bottom right there. And if you look down, it's got a little rubber boot right there and another rubber boot. And the only thing you need to do is just be careful when you're pulling it up out, and then you got that up and out of the way. So now you can see this better here. On the inside, we've got the air handler box or the air filter box kind of peeled up. The top part's peeled up out of the way, the bottom part's taken out, and that's also a good time to clean out that box on the bottom because it gets really dirty with sand and things like that you don't want in your filter. So you're going to take this off with a clip removal tool or some kind of flat tool. Sometimes people can use a butter knife. I like to get down underneath behind here and pull it out. I don't like to grab the edge of the clip, but I'm just going to pull one clip out. You could do both clips or even all 3, but see, now you can get to the back side of the headlight. I don't know if you can see that. To the left you have your high beam, and to the right you have your low beam, and so you can perfectly go in and you can grab and replace your low beam and your high beam headlamp without removing the inside of the fender well or all the other stuff that you're hearing in the other tutorials. Not sure if you can see it or not, but my hand is in here and I'm twisting out the low beam headlamp right now as we speak, and I'm pulling it out through the hole while I'm holding the camera with the other hand, just to show you how easy it is to get the bulb out. And there you go. Got access to the bulb right there. And we can go ahead and replace it. We can try to hold this camera while I reassemble the air box. I'll show you really how easy it is. Just make sure the top piece is kind of pulled up out of the way. It kind of likes to fall back down because you're not taking it all the way apart. And you need to be really careful because there is a sensor here. Okay, there's a sensor right here, so you don't want to bend or break that connection. So you just want to pull it up out of the way far enough that you can actually get the box back down in. So what you do is just kind of hold it up out of the way, slide it down in. So see, it's down in the spot, and that's just kind of hanging out there. Now you want to find the little nubs that go into the rubber grommets, okay, and then you want to press down and seat it in place, okay. So here you go. So that's in place. That's in place. So there you go. See, it's just should just be fairly firm. It's not going to be all the way in there. You know, it's just going to be kind of suspended because this has to be just against the firewall here. It allows air to come in. So it's all the way in now. And now you're going to take the air handler and you're going to get the filter. And get the filter. The filter just goes right down in as so, like so. Just drops right straight down into the box. I'm going to pull this up out of the way again. Get to it. Okay. Filter's in place. Now you're going to bring the air handler top down on top of it. And now you've got these little screws that go in here. And I've got a little screw gun, which actually helps. The one you want to get first is this one that's way down in the corner. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's way down in the corner. You want to get that one first. That's the one that's hard to line up. So you take your screw here, line it up, put the screw in. Get it started. It helps if you have a little screw gun. I have this little handy dandy screw gun here that will help me get that in there without having to fret about it. Okay, that's in. So now that I have that in, I don't have to worry about aligning too many screws. This is in place good. I'll go ahead and put the screws in place. Okay, two more. One more screw on this side. Okay, so now your air cleaner box is properly installed, and it's going to be a little loose. It's always been loose like this. It's just sitting on some rubber grommets that's holding it in place. That's the only thing. And it's made to be able to be moved around. Okay, so you got that all mounted in where it needs to go. And then now you've got this little clip that has to go back in place. All I do is just kind of shove it in through the hole here. Okay, and work it back together with my thumb. Back and forth, till I get it shoved all the way in. There it goes, it popped back in place. So now you are completely back together. All we need to do now is remove the tools and we can shut the hood and we're good to go.